Sure, and thank you for having me, Chris. I think we may have met even sooner than 2019, but it would not have been too long earlier. I am or was a New York-based CPA. I work with clients remotely, both in New York and California, and soon Texas. Um, I'm a small accounting office. I primarily prepare tax returns for individuals and small businesses. My original hesitation was when you sign on board with a firm like Integrity, there are certain weekly hourly requirements, meaning that you contract to hire staff for X amount of hours per week. And when you're a small freelance like accountant, that can be difficult. But I think it's just a matter of time before, you build your business and you do have that ability to pass on the hours to staff. In terms of any other concerns or hesitations, frankly, Chris, I did not have any because the one thing that stands out about Integrity in comparison to other primarily India and Philippines based outsourcing companies, you come across as extremely professional and organized. So I did not have a feeling of doubt that I'm working with a company that is substandard to US professionalism. The truth of the matter is, everyone I've come across at Integrity, both on the US and overseas front, come across as educated, professional, and kind. And everyone I've interviewed with has been, you can truly feel the warmth and sincerity of the folks you're dealing with. These are typically young, honest, hardworking people who care about doing well in school and subsequently care to do well in the workforce. What I have looked for is, because I myself was a great student in school, I looked for similar folks who had really good GPAs or good grades. That was a personal prerogative of mine. I looked for people with good grades, made sure that their resume was well buttoned up. Um, and I was happy with my selections. I mean, I'm still working with the staff I've had for 2 years now. Fortunately for me, I was one step ahead of the pandemic in that I considered outsourcing and remote work before the pandemic hit. I think that falls within the typical US progressive and tech driven um, state of mind, right? So companies like Google, for instance, they've been outsourcing to India way before we even knew there would be a global pandemic. But I will say this, that during the pandemic, business continued as usual. I had a good year both last year and this year. I was not economically impacted, though there was like time gaps because clients did not come in at the same time of year, and Integrity was very accommodating about that. So I don't want to go off on a side note, but I think that your business model is you work over the internet and you are very efficient and do that so well. We communicate daily over Skype. I'm sorry if I'm rambling at this point. Please don't be shy about directing me back in line. But communications and technology wise, everything has been going well with Integrity from day one. It's your business model. It's the business model I have latched onto. So when the pandemic hit, it was frankly not an issue. Well, I mean, I will say that Mr. Mukund Patel, now the director at Integrity, is phenomenal. And I'm sorry for using such a word that we typically now no longer are sensitive to. But the truth is this: during tax season last year, Mukund would pretty much answer 24/7. I mean, I work like a dog. I work day and night because I want to be big. I want to be 10, 20, 30 times bigger than what I currently am. And my staff know that I work from 8 a.m. to 4 a.m. pretty much 7 days a week during tax season. But guess what? So did Mukund. So if I had a question at 2 p.m., 2 a.m. my time, whatever time it was for him in India, he answered. So incredibly responsive, hardworking, very very gentle, kind, and sweet energy. And that's how I describe foremost Mukund, because he's the person that I dealt with the most. This year, I've also been dealing with Mr. Narav Sangani. He's also very kind. And, they both care and they're attentive to needs. sure do, and I sure hope so. If I could be so absolutely sincere and raw with you, Chris, I just hope that one day integrity doesn't outgrow me by too much. I do believe that your business model is to work with the small, sometimes mom and pop or freelance type of accountant. Let's face it, uh, people that typically outsource are cost conscious. We're not talking about necessarily a big firm that doesn't really care whether they're paying someone 35 per hour or 15 per hour, though I'm sure you've got such clients as well. But like we talked right before this testimonial video, I'm looking to grow. There's a few things I need to do that will mathematically almost guarantee me growth. I've got the marketing and the clients knocking at my door for it. I know that integrity is a strong, reliable partner for back office work. Those are two pieces of my three-part equation. Um, this year I tried to make both staff members into supervisors, where we actually had 4 staff people on board, and I actually finished the season with 3 staff people on board. The pandemic kind of slowed us down because it simply throws off the tempo. People don't come in at the same intensity. But both of my staff were responsive to being in a supervisory role, and what I foresee for them in the future is, as we bring on more integrity staff, that my senior staff becomes supervisor to train and oversee the new staff. So yes, I'm not looking to go anywhere, and frankly, it's also a matter of the development of intellectual capital, for lack of a better word. When you spend time training and people learn your system, why would you want to start from scratch? The learning curve is a pain in the butt, especially when you're looking to grow big time.